You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access. Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
I'd just like to welcome everybody today, and I'm sure that you'll agree that this is a perfect way to start the new year. Opening this impressive building where we now have two extraordinary companies located. Concentrix, our anchor client, and one of the largest BPO operators, and the other tenant is Jamaica's own Unique Vacations, and they're doing all the customer service and reservations for the Sandals resorts that are located throughout the Caribbean. It's phenomenal to host these two companies and such an honor for the Ce-Freezone. And we want to thank them for their confidence of locating here. There have been many detractors of the industry out there making uninformed and negative statements about working conditions. And this is why we're so fortunate to have a Prime Minister that is pro-business, pro-growth, and sees clearly the incredible value that BPO brings to the Jamaican economy. And the industry's ability to provide jobs at an unrivaled rate. And without these work opportunities, many of these people that are employed here would join a generation of lost and unemployable people. So for those of you too young to know or too old to remember, or if you're not from Montego Bay, I'd like to give you a little history. While we're sitting here now, was not long ago a pasture. And a little further in that direction, where the BNS and Fontana and the cinema are located, was a cane piece. In 2002, I was serving on the board of JAMPRO, and then the portfolio minister was Philip Paulwell, and he was bringing some BPO investors down here. I don't know if Conrad was yet at JAMPRO, but he was bringing some investors to establish a BPO operation by helicopter, and he asked me to meet him in this very spot, which was a pasture. And I got here 15 minutes before the helicopter arrived, and I couldn't believe the amount of cows in this very spot. So when the helicopter came, of course, the cows went crazy, stampeded, and the investors came off the helicopter very shocked. And unfortunately, we didn't get that investment. That same minister, in what was called youthful exuberance, promised the country 40,000 jobs within 3 years. And guess what? It's taken us 15 years, but we are on the cusp to surpass that 40,000 jobs. And in this Ce-Freezone alone, with this building, we passed the 10,000 employment of the Ce-Freezone alone. An incredible milestone. Our Prime Minister, who from day one has not only declared BPO as his primary growth strategy, but has walked the walk by making investments in building BPO space that ensures that we're ready for business and that the growth is real. In this industry, if you don't have space and infrastructure to offer clients, they will simply move their investment plans elsewhere. So today, to be at the same spot in this old pasture where we recently visited our Prime Minister with his shovel, breaking ground for what we now see behind us, makes this an incredible day and one we can all be proud of. This building will provide a living for over 2,000 families for years to come and provide foreign exchange earnings that we all desperately need to support the economic recovery that Jamaica was promised for so long, and we're finally seeing for the first time in most of our lives. I want to thank you, Prime Minister, and your team of hard-working ministers for your advocacy and your determination in having the Free Zone succeed. And of course, the PAJ staff under the leadership of Gordon Shirley and Gloria Henry, who forms part of that through the Montego Bay Free Zone, and the respective boards of directors. I see that entire row in the front there is our Free Zone board of directors, and we have Port Authority directors here, and former Port Authority Free Zone chairman here, and my father is here, and so many others. And I have to acknowledge my wife and my mother, or else I'll be really in trouble. So protocols have been observed, and I don't want to list everybody, but there are probably several people I've missed, and the mail. But I would like to thank you all and just say that being here today is a very, very special moment, and as I said, a great way that I'm starting my year, and I hope you feel the same way. Welcome and thank you.
It really is a pleasure for PAJ to be a partner in the development of your great city, Mr. Mayor. This is the fastest growing municipal center in Jamaica and probably in the Caribbean, actually. Aside from our investments here, which I'll speak about in a moment, I wanted to signal that we are also investors in a neighboring Freeport terminal. This is one of the, it's a significant investment for Port Authority, and because it is such a secret, allow me for just 1 second to tell you a little bit about what we have been doing over in Freeport. Over the past 2 years, we have renovated the main cruise terminal at berth 5 and 6 and constructed a new one at berth 2 to accommodate the expansion of home porting. We have also developed new ground transport management facilities over there. And as a result, Montego Bay is now the fastest growing cruise terminal in the country. We have facilitated the construction of Fortress's new LNG facility, and we have dredged the harbor to accommodate even larger cruise ships and cargo facilities. Currently, we are constructing a new cargo at berth 1, a new cargo facility at berth 1. We are expanding berth 2 to accommodate the largest cruise vessels. We are investing in new cargo handling equipment, reach stackers, terminal trucks, and so on. We are implementing a new automated terminal operating system and implementing a new port community system. Over $35 million is being spent in the neighboring facility, which is intended to transform that facility into the most dynamic and significant mixed terminal anywhere in the Caribbean. And as important as it is for us to be developing in those facilities, a mandate of the Port Authority is to develop the near port areas in immediate proximity of our terminals with a view to creating economic growth and job creation. And the most dynamic near port facility that we have is the Montego Bay Freeport. The board of Montego Bay Free Zone and the board of Port Authority were early in recognizing the growth in markets such as analytics and market research, engineering design, medical transcription, health information management, financial and legal process outsourcing, publishing, and outsourcing of R&D. Our objective is to capitalize on the growth of this knowledge process outsourcing segment and to transform the zone in a manner that makes it attractive for firms to want to perform these types of services here in Jamaica and here in the Montego Bay Free Zone. This effort is already bearing success. Examples of this include the fact that Numerator, one of the clients here, is providing market intelligence and complex CRM services. Software development for desktop and mobile applications is being provided by Avonmark. Shared services in finance and accounting is being provided by Advanced Call Center Technology and Conduent. Medical transcription is being provided by Infinity Behavioral Health Services. Data analytics by Numerator. Payroll processing, corporate filings, and corporate support by Conduent. And market campaign, advertising, and promotion by Centerfield Media. The investment of approximately $10 million in this new 63,000 square foot facility, which is being opened today, is a reflection of the commitment to creating the kinds of facility suitable for accommodating the companies that wish to perform these higher value added services here in Jamaica. It is designed with the employees in mind and with all the necessary amenities and features of the best BPO centers anywhere in the globe. With this new facility, an additional 1,500 to 2,000 jobs, as Mark mentioned, will be accommodated. And the zone is now, we are proud to say that the zone is now home to 10,600 good paying jobs, impacting the lives of our young graduates and their families.
Ladies and gentlemen, a decade and a half ago, I responded to an advertisement looking for a client services manager, and I felt it was Port Authority, so I applied for that job. And I had a choice at the time, two financial institutions, but because I knew Port Authority is the place to work, and it had all that lovely reputation, so I chose to come here. And 1 week into the job, when I realized it was a free zone, I was dying. I was like, oh my God. And I remember going into my office one day and I said, Lord, it's not too late to call in CV. Please give me a direction because I don't know if I can cope with this job. And then to make it worse, I walked out of my office and there was a customer ranting and raging about a problem. And then he said to me, so how long are you planning to be here? And I was like, oh my God, so people don't stay here. So I was really worried, but then I got the divine word and I was divinely led, and here am I. And you know, we were perhaps about 20-something% occupied in our warehousing space and vacant in many of our building spaces. We use car parks to play football and volleyball and netball, and we use empty buildings to store stuff for anybody who wanted to store things because we had so many spaces. But in 5 years, we were full. We were 100% occupied. And at that time, we advanced a proposal under the chairman of Mr. Dare to put up this building. Well, 9 years later, here we are. But we are here because of the effort, the contribution, the blood, sweat, and tears, the toiling of many, many, many persons. Not just the Port Authority, but the unsung heroes who work in this industry. Those who have launched businesses here that have gone global. Those whose business have gone and listed on the stock exchange in the US. Those who serve Fortune 500 and Fortune 100 customers. Those whose work make Jamaica look like the best place, and it is the best place indeed in the world. Those whose work stand out against any first world country. These are the people who work in the BPO centers. They represent diversity. So I know you hear a lot about the call center, but call center is not all that we do. Yes, that's where we started. And you know, you don't want to shake off your history completely. You heard some of the things that Professor articulated earlier that we're doing in this business. And so today we want to invite some of our workers who have been here, who have worked in different segments of the business, to share with you in 2 minutes some of their testimonials.
I have been with Teleperformance since the inception of the company. That's 20 years ago. So yes, I have been with Teleperformance for 20 years. After graduating high school, it was clear I was unable to immediately afford college, and so I made the decision to work. I started as an agent and was promoted to a manager 3 years later. Through my hard work, high display of professionalism, and consistency with effectively managing a team, I was further promoted to an assistant call center manager. I have played multiple roles, lead roles in the organization, such as the lead engagement coordinator, guest speaker at Jump, and I'll talk briefly about what Jump is. So within Teleperformance, we have a program that we develop our agents to become leaders. So the Jump program, so we can basically promote from within. So that's like a synopsis of what the Jump program is. And a motivational speaker to the new hires. I have led multiple charges as it relates to growth and development in the organization. I have mentored several of my peers and has changed the lives of many through my testimonies. I am known to speak the hard truth. With honest persona, there's not a question with the heart for my job. I have significant strides in the career and personal development. I am now a call center manager and with direct oversight of over 500 employees. I have a great deal for passion for excellence. I'm a mother, a wife, and currently a student at the Montego Bay Community College, where I'm pursuing my bachelor's degree in business management. The BPO has provided an avenue not only for creating jobs in the country, but it's also one of the leading income generators of the economy. My role in the BPO industry is critical to the business, as I am given the task of reviewing the root causes, as well as identifying and implement various strategies to improve the program Teleperformance, as well as mitigating any loss for financials. My current roles allow me to play a vital role in managing important clients, vendor relationships, etc. I have no regrets in starting my career in the BPO sector. I say to the BPO, and especially my company, Teleperformance, thank you for my personal growth and success to date. And I leave you with my mantra: aspire to be the best on the team, aspire to be the best for the team. Thank you.
I started in the Montego Bay Freezone at Vistaprint in 2003. So I've been here for 15 years. My career didn't start here, but I can bet you that, and I can tell you that if I have the opportunity, I would stay here. Working at the Freezone has given me opportunities to experience first world technologies, to manage people, to interact with personalities across the globe, not only in Jamaica. And that is something that I believe every Jamaican needs to experience. I believe every Jamaican, as a matter of fact, should endeavor to be a part of the Montego Bay Freezone and be a part of the BPO sector, because it opens opportunities, it opens our eyes. I believe that this is something that, if it wasn't here, we would have been lacking in a lot of ways. So thank you very much for being here and for giving us the opportunity to have a job, to make a life for ourselves, and to be the best person that we can be.
Throughout my 13 years with Teleperformance Alliance One, I have great success stories. I must say, I've started with this company as an agent. Throughout that 13 years, I've grown, moved in different areas such as a QA supervisor, assistant center manager, and currently I hold the position as a contact center manager. Thank you. I've been given various opportunities within Teleperformance. One of the greatest things for me is I have given the opportunity to help to build interaction with employees, to mold employees to be better leaders and upcoming leaders of tomorrow. Within this organization, there are great deeds towards myself in terms of building personal growth and assisting me with my family. Within my 13 years, could I ever think of where do I go from here? It's hard for me to decide. Why? Throughout this 13 years, my confidence, that self-esteem that I've built throughout the year, with support of leaders such as, of course, I will not leave out saying my direct manager, Jake Becker, and other fellow co-workers. Currently, I'm so proud wearing the latest achievement within Teleperformance is I was recently enrolled in Teleperformance University. Now, you may wonder what this is. It's the university created by the company. This exists for the past 10 years. And I'm pleased to say for 8 months ago, I was enrolled in this program. The opportunity that it allows me is I join this college. I get a chance to travel. My last travel was in Brazil. This is a big deal for me. That's 2 months ago I get to go to Brazil. I have an upcoming trip that will be in Philippines. I'm excited about that one as well. And of course, graduation in Greece. These are my dream places to visit, and so I'll say thanks to Teleperformance for that.
My name is Corrine Phillips Brown. I have over 12 years of experience in the BPO industry. I started out as a hard trainee in the accounting department. With my experience gathered in this sector and through self-study, I completed my career as a chartered accountant. I am now a member of the international body of ACCA and also the local body of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Jamaica. With my qualification and experience, I am now the finance manager of a 1,900-seat, Fortune 500 BPO company. I was instrumental in starting the accounting operation here in Jamaica. This has seen, because of the success, several other accounting jobs being migrated. In the process, we are planning to expand our shared services division. Some of my tasks as an accountant include financial statement reporting, analysis, and consolidation. My plan is to continue in this sector. I am really passionate about working in the BPO industry. Thank you.
I am the managing director for Avantmark Technologies. We were formerly Indusa Global, and we have been in the free zone for the past 2 years. But Indusa has been around for almost 20 years. Now, we are on the ground floor of Data Building 3, right on the same building with Market Track. We have 11 employees. We have 8 programmers, 3 accounting and data entry staff that are responsible for the accounting needs of 2 of our clients. All our employees are Jamaican-born, Jamaican-educated, going to University of UTEC, University of the West Indies, and NCU. Combined, all of our employees, we have over 50 years of programming experience. Though we are a small company, we have developed software applications, both web and mobile, for the health, transport, and the tourism sector for both the US, for clients in the US, as well as in the Caribbean. Currently, we're working on a logistics platform for a large freight brokerage and transportation management company in Colorado. Another project that we're currently working on is building a custom CRM system for that same logistics customer that has already improved the way this logistic client services its customers. These systems all leverage the power of cloud computing, mobile applications, and will eventually use machine learning and artificial intelligence to provide our clients with any advantage that they can in that very competitive market. What makes us different from any other software development firm? It's not that we have the best programmers. We do have some really good ones, but we can hold our own with anyone in the world. It's not that we have the best facilities. We're getting there, though. It's not that we have the best salaries. We're going to get there, though. But what we do is that we have a passion for technology. We embrace modern technology and are not afraid to implement it in solutions where we see that it provides an advantage to our clients. We are agile in our approach to work, so we can adapt quickly to changes. We believe in automation first, so we can free people to focus more on value-added tasks and building stronger customer relations for their employers. And above all, we have the best 11 people that anybody could ask for. Our small team of 11 programmers pulls together like a well-oiled machine. Finally, we don't intend to stay small forever. We may never grow to the size of some of our neighbors due to the sheer nature of our jobs, but we intend to leave a mark on this free zone where we aren't always known by the address relative to our neighbors. So for example, the door across from Unique Vacations, who have now migrated to the east side, or the building that Market Track is on, but by our work and our impact we have on the community and Jamaica. Ladies and gentlemen, I proudly represent Avantmark Technologies. Thank you.
The government of Jamaica has 4 main lines of effort that lead into one main objective. And these are the sound fiscal management and financial management of the public's affairs. The second is to create and support the conditions for private sector-led growth. The third is to create meaningful employment for all Jamaicans, but the broader picture is to ensure that all Jamaicans are involved in work. The fourth is to ensure the security and safety and peace of communities and households within Jamaica. And all of these lead into the ultimate objective of securing Jamaica's economic independence. I believe that if you assess the performance of the government on its lines of effort, you will come to the conclusion that the government can report significant success. For example, there is no question that the government has achieved major success in ensuring the fiscal certainty of our economy. The debt has been reduced from 141% of GDP to this year we will be just below 100% of GDP. And that is the ultimate index. But there are other things that we should measure fiscal performance on. And that is, for example, the government has seen significant investments taking place in the development of infrastructure. But a large part of that does not rely on the government's fiscal accounts. In other words, we have pursued the expansion of infrastructure and capital formation without having to rely on the budget of the government. Now, this is a perfect example. The PAJ, out of its own resources, that is the Port Authority of Jamaica, out of its own resources, have made this investment, and this investment will bring a financial windfall. Maybe windfall is too much, but certainly profit that you can use to reinvest. But the policy of the government is that all its public bodies must stand financially sound and fiscally certain on their own. And all the assets that they have, we must see to their full utilization. So all the warehouses that are empty, all the parking lots that are now volleyball and football fields, all the real estate that are unoccupied and unused, all the lands that are just growing wild bush, we must find appropriate and high value usage for them. And that strategy has worked. And I want to commend the Port Authority of Jamaica in being at the lead in fulfilling that strategy, in ensuring that our port facilities are being developed, in ensuring that our BPO facilities, those that exist and the new ones that are being developed. And whilst this facility may be the most modern in the Port Authority's portfolio of BPO facilities, I happen to know that the work in Portmore, the Portmore, what is it called? In Informatics Park, the PIP, that will be an ultra-modern facility and will probably eclipse what is being done here. In as much as we are pushing forward to see the development of the infrastructure and supporting capital formation without call on the government budget. I mean, the government has to have some involvement, but where these things are commercial in nature, we believe that it should be the private sector or corporately operated public agencies that do them. But the government must also look at the landscape and look to the horizon, because I've often said that, you know, the ship of state is almost like a submarine. It's under sea. It doesn't always see the big picture or the horizon, and so it has to have a periscope that looks up above the water and can see what is to come. Governments have to analyze future risks. So we are making investments now, but one thing of which we are certain is that conditions will change. They can change for the better, or they can change for the worst. One thing we must ensure is that whatever the change that occurs, Jamaica is in a position to survive and be resilient. That is, be able to recover very quickly from adverse change or take advantage of opportunities that present themselves. And so the government must always be forward-looking. And in that forward-looking stance, the government must say, what are the risks that are on the horizon for our fiscal certainty? What are the risks that could cause the government to have to, for example, put on more taxes on people? What are the risks, for example, that could cause the government to incur more debt? And from now, try to avoid those risks. So our strategy of ensuring that the private sector, along with corporately run public agencies, take on the risks of developing infrastructure and capital formation, that strategy works for the people of Jamaica. because it ensures that at no time will there be a call on you, the public, to pay for any eventualities that may happen, and that paying for means either higher taxes or we have to cut services. In its present state, Petrojam is a fiscal risk to the government. The truth is that after the JPS ceases to be its major customer by virtue of a decision that the government made to diversify its fuel mix to include LNG, which is a more stable fuel in terms of its commodity pricing, and probably better in the long run for Jamaica, and a more efficient fuel from an environmental perspective. We took that decision. When we took the decision, we should have also considered the other impacts of that decision, which means that Petrojam could lose or will lose 50% of its custom. That could mean, very well mean, that the operations of Petrojam could become a call on the government. And I use the term government, but I shouldn't, because in the consciousness of Jamaica, the Jamaican people see the government as separate from them, which is not the case. The government is just the accumulation of you. So if it is a call on the government's purse is a collection from your pocket. And that's what it is. It is going to be a call on your pocket. So I am not running a government that is under siege, not knowing what is coming in the future, as we have had governments do in the past. And then we happen upon situations. And those who are being critical of the government now should explain why it is we are happening up on situations that are creating fiscal risks for the government. This government is giving the people of Jamaica the commitment that we will not just manage the situations that exist now, but we are managing the situations to come. And you can be assured that the government I lead will always make decisions in the interest of the Jamaican people first. So you may be wondering, what's the connection? But I hope you see that the strategy of the government in doing all of this is about this line of effort in ensuring that Jamaica's government, meaning the collection of your pockets, is fiscally sound. On the line of effort of creating employment, that the government has done exceptionally well. 1.3 million Jamaicans are employed. That's the highest number since the recorded history of the statistic. Now, that's a commitment we made, and we intend to continue to push for greater employment, because I believe we can reach full employment, and we are not far away from it. We recognize that training and education is a constraint on our growth and employment prospects. Kind of ironic, isn't it? But it is the truth. Our education system, its output, our socialization coming from our households, are all impacting on the rate at which we increase our employment. I have here today, of course, the chairman of HEART, Mr. Edward Gabidon, and he knows that I have been breathing down the neck of HEART to put in place an effective strategy of training persons for the BPO industry. I know that they have an effort underway, and it has made an impact. But I'm always concerned when I hear of situations that a BPO enterprise opened just a few doors down, and then the BPO enterprise that was always in existence would come to work on a Monday morning, and half its staff is gone over to the next BPO. And then they are in a quandary and a scurry trying to find replacements. We hear those stories, and the government takes it seriously. We must rapidly increase our training to support the expansion of the industry. It can't be that we have investors here and we are not supplying very quickly the quality trained workers. We have to get cracking on that in a more aggressive way. And it is not that we don't have the people. You know where they are? Some of them are in lottery scamming. Some of them are in crime. And many of them are at home sitting down doing nothing. And when you go to them, well, me can't leave my baby. Or they hide. Because I've seen the reports. We have gone into communities with programs offering people to be trained, and they refuse to take it. Why? It is clear that the policy of the government can't be just employment. The policy of the government has to be to create a culture of work. So, I want to thank you, because if you let me, I'll go on and on and on. But I want to thank you for being such a good audience and for listening. And again, let me congratulate the PAJ and the team for bringing this project to fruition. I gather now you'd be above 10,600 persons employed here, and that the BPO sector in terms of its employment is now in excess of 36,000 persons, in excess of 36,000. I'm certain that before the year is out, we should be close to 40, if not passing it. My view, and I continue to maintain it, is that we could have hundreds of thousands of persons employed in the BPO sector, providing we can release the constraint of the trained labor force and build out the spaces. As it has turned out, it has been easier to build out the spaces than to relieve the constraint of employment. But I give the assurance that we are working on both. God bless you all. Happy New Year. Health, prosperity, happiness, and peace.
This new building brings new opportunity to Montego Bay as a city of which we are in the Caribbean, and we are the fastest developing city in the Caribbean. But this new building will mean thousands of new jobs for young people, not only from St. James, but from adjoining parishes. And wherever job opportunities are created for the multiplier effect. And it is very good for Montego Bay for us to be opening this over 60,000 square foot of space here today. The Montego Bay is known as the hospitality location in the Caribbean. We are more hospitable than any other parts of Jamaica and the Caribbean. The expatriates feel very comfortable, feel very welcome, feel very accommodative when they are here to do business, right? So it is a natural fit for us here in Montego Bay to embrace our expatriates, to embrace our local investors, and to embrace our new workers that are working in this free zone area, which the last count that I had, we have probably over 12,000 persons employed in the BPO sector in Montego Bay. And just having a discussion in another 3 to 4 years, it might be up to 15,000, 16,000. So it is growing. So Montego Bay is the place for BPO. I know it is being branched out in other areas of Jamaica, which I commend that also. But Montego Bay will be the preferred destination because we are the hospitality capital of the Caribbean. We in St. James, we are ahead of the rest because the Art Trust NTA, the high schools, the secondary schools are integral. They go into the school and when they have their student awareness as it relates to job opportunities, the BPO sector plays a very, very pivotal role. And I must say to you, this is an era in which is a good start for any young person. Because to leave school with 2 or 3 CXC subjects, you know that in most cases you can't go into college with that. You can't go to a university with that. But you can enter the BPO sector, earn yourself much more than what you would have been earning if you were sitting down at home, and build your capacity from there. So it is a good start for those who did not achieve the 5, 6, 7 subjects to move on to college and to move on to university. So I would encourage all young people who have acquired 1, 2, 3, 4 subjects and they want to make a start in life to start at the BPO. It is a steady and growing industry. And I know a lot of them that started, and a number of them now are in supervisory position, big supervisory position, taking home working and living salary. So, I mean, I must tell you, you can know when they just started working. You know, they don't look that bouncy, but after 3 months and the hairstyle change, the whole makeup change, the clothing change, and you know that they are making money and they are earning their way to prosperity.
As an iconic building, it demonstrates that we are committed to a world-class type of facility for the services that are offered here. We're also keen on moving upscale from just the normal call center type operations to more knowledge-based operations. And we believe that those jobs will be even more attractive to the graduates from our university system, as well as those that you asked about, which are those who want to work and study. Students in some of these areas, the areas that I've spoken about, law, finance, medicine, and so on, will want to have jobs that relate to the things that they are studying. And the opportunity then to be working here and going to the Western Jamaica campus or the other campuses in the region would be very attractive for them. The manager of the facility, Gloria Henry, is already has collaborations with the community center here. So there are a number of students who are workers here, employees here in the center, but who are pursuing degrees and other programs at the community center. So there is quite a symbiotic relationship between the university system and what we have here, going here at the Montego Bay Free Zone.
BPO is excellent for Montego Bay. Gives a lot of employment, has a lot of people, and is expanding very rapidly. And it will be a big future for the town. And with the bypass road coming next year, makes a huge difference to Montego Bay.
So my name is Deborah Fraser. I'm the CEO for Caribbean HR Solutions. We are an HR outsourcing company. So we support, for the most part, business process outsourcing players who are coming into Jamaica and help them to launch and to find all of their staff, to develop their HR programs, and to keep them in compliance with Jamaican labor laws. So this new building is really very, very impressive. Jamaica has been successful at attracting the top outsourcers globally, and that's responsible for providing really great quality jobs. So companies all over the world are turning to outsourcing their core and non-core activities. And Jamaica has been very, very successful at showing the world that we have bright, talented people who can work in several types of jobs, including quality analysts, workforce managers, service and sales, IT. I mean, it's amazing. So the building really does represent a lot of hard work that's gone into building this industry. So we're happy to support it.
The opening of this new building is significant. It means growth, it means development for our country, it means providing more jobs for our people. So I think this is a great move and a move in the right direction for us here in Montego Bay and by extension Jamaica.
The building is state-of-the-art, top-notch. Professor Shirley and Gloria Henry really helped Concentrix get a smooth launch in Jamaica, which to date we've built just under 500 seats on the ground floor of this building and a rapid expansion into Kingston. So kind of without the support from them, we would not have been able to expand into Kingston as fast as possible because the facility we got was in top-notch shape. So I think it's a great step.